Welcome back, everyone. Phoenix 3 here, and we finally got the set we were looking for, the our English set Evolutions, which is going to be largely a reprint of the base set Pokemon cards. Some cards are different, some cards are the same, and what I mean by that is like we might have a card that has the exact same artwork as one of the base set cards, but its effect is completely different. Like it's completely different than its base set counterpart. Some cases the card is the exact same, like with Chansey, sort of like Chansey, and then the card got a much needed buff. But I'm super excited about this set because this is where I get my Pidgeot EX, something I've been waiting for like 16 years. So I'm super glad about that. So some cards that were not put in this set that were in base set is the Blastoise line, the Venusaur line, which I'm disappointed in because I was really looking forward to Energy Trance. Because if you guys watch my videos, you see that I am like an avid Golduck Break player, and I only use Golduck Break because of its ability to move energy around. Venusaur from base set also did that, and we also have Force with Giant Plants, which means I could pretty much play a Venusaur down in one turn and have access to the ability to move all my energy around, but that didn't happen. The Pidgeot line's not here, Jinx isn't here, a handful of trainers aren't here. Um, I'm kind of glad about that because I don't think anybody wanted energy removal and super energy removal. Screw that. Scoop Up would have been nice to have reprinted, but I mean, what can you do? But we're gonna go ahead and like look into the set here. Just as like a review of the set, I already know what I'm getting myself into largely. I didn't actually look at every card yet, so some of these will come as a surprise to me. But one thing I do have to say is though is that I am amazed at how good this Ninetales card looks. Like if you saw the Ninetales EX from the Generation set, nothing about that card looks right. This here looks really nice. All right, but we have Venusaur now. As you know, this here is just a reprint Venusaur, I believe. It does Jungle Hammer, heal 30 from this Pokemon. Poison Powder. This is the one that was reprinted in XY base. Same with Mega Venusaur, I believe. And this one here does Crisis Bond. So pretty much what people are excited about are the fact that the Gen 1 starters now have Spirit Links, which is really good. I don't think it's going to increase the usability of any of these Megas, but they have them. I think out of all the Megas that could possibly be used, I think Venusaur might be the only one that is usable simply because of Forest of Giant Plants. We have the Caterpie line, or no, we don't have the Caterpie line. Butterfree's not here. But we do have Beedrill. This Beedrill here is an example of one of the cards I'm talking about. Its stats were completely different. I don't remember if base set Beedrill had a retreat cost or not, but it didn't have 120 HP, and its attack, Swarming Sting, can completely wreck something. Like it does 40 damage times the number of Beedrill you have in play to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So you technically have access to a 160 damage snipe attack, which is really good. I really wish some other Pokemon had moves like this. Like I think they should probably experiment with archetypes with certain types. Like I think bird Pokemon in the trading card game should be able to hit anywhere on the board they want simply because they're flyers. So I would like to see something like this be a little more different. But this Beedrill here is completely different than a base set Beedrill. Of course, Charizard has to be here because let's face it, this set here was all about Charizard for the most part. It's the only one that gets its base set card reprinted, which I think is annoying. And of course, you can't have anything with Charizard EXs. These here are still reprint cards, so Ninetales looks to be different here. Duck, choose one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to switch to the active Pokemon, and it can't retreat during the next turn. That is so good because it completely ignores like Floatstone, which is going to be a heavy card. I seriously hope there's a trainer in here that can discard Pokemon tools. That would be nice. And Ninetales Break, Explosive Fireball, 10 damage. Discard all fire energy attached to this Pokemon. Just attack deals 60 more damage for each energy discarded in this way. I mean, you can have access to a 180 damage attack, But I mean, I think you would be much better off with Fire Blast if you had the option. I don't like. I'm glad that fire decks don't have Blacksmith anymore because that just made some of them completely dumb. But I mean, I think fire needs some kind of support here actually. So we'll see what happens with that in the future. Arcanon actually gains an ability. Once during your turn, when this Pokemon becomes your active Pokemon from the bench, you may move as many fire energy from your Pokemon to this Pokemon. Again, this can be good, but you know, fire doesn't really have the energy acceleration. Like if you're playing Volcanion, you're not running Ninetales, you're not running Arcanon. I suppose you can use this with Delphox Break. But I mean, it is a good attacker. It's 150. So, I mean, you can have it. Can't use the attack on your next turn, so um, I mean, maybe somebody will find a use for Arcanon, but it takes a lot to get going, and you can only attack every other turn. So I mean, you have to hit something first that you want to, that you wouldn't mind sitting in the active spot with. Rapid Dash is in here. We got Magmore. Appears to be similar to the base set one. Looks like it has 10 more HP though. I got me a soda right here. For some reason my throat's a little sore, so I know if I sound a little off, it's because I'm dealing with that. Blastoise EX, same thing. No need to really look at it. So we've got the Poliwhirl line, Poliwrath, I should say. Discard an energy card attached to the fitting Pokemon. I mean, Whirlpool got better. I mean, really nothing to write home about here. Well, actually, this attack here is technically 100 damage for 1 energy. That might actually be relevant. Yeah, it might actually be relevant. I mean, it's still stage 2, and playing evolutions is still bad because, you know, 140 HP is something that you just don't want to deal with. Dugong is an example of a Pokemon that got a complete makeover. It used to be like Freeze Dry, and or it was not these two attacks. I don't remember what it was off the top of my head, but it's completely different. Starmie's Galactic Spin is pretty much the old energy retrieval. You discard a card from your hand, then choose 2 basic energy, you discard pile, and put them into your hand. It's nice to have it on this because decks that really rely on ways to get energy back can benefit from it. Like in Greninja, you constantly have a Pokemon in play that can get 2 energy back, so you can cut your energy retrievals if you want and run other things. Starmie Break for 1 energy does 100 damage to each of your opponent's break Pokemon. It's super specific. I don't think it'll see any play. I mean, the only relevant break Pokemon that I can think of right now is probably Yanmega and Greninja. I mean, putting 100 damage on each of them is pretty good, but still, this is technically a stage 2 when breaks have almost no support, so can't really say much about that. Gyarados, I want to say this Gyarados is good. You know, 50 damage for 3 water, like you can't accelerate that at all with double colorless energy. It's a straight up 3 water energy, 3 or 4 water energy. So Dragon Rage can knock something out, but if you flip tails even once, it does nothing. And Bolt Beam can paralyze. But if you have Shrine of Memories in play, you gain access to Magikarp's Flail, and that can be relevant. It's always a nice surprise tactic. Of course, Pikachu and Raichu are going to be here. Let's see, Discharge, attach a Lightning Energy from your discard pile to this Pokemon. That's completely different, I believe. And Spark Bolt also completely different. This used to be Thunderbolt. So you may discard an energy card attached to this Pokemon. If you do, it does 70 more damage. So you have access to a 140 damage attack. Good thing about it, it can't be accelerated with double colorless energy, so that's always cool. We have Magneton, Thunder Wave, Self-Destruct, average stuff. The Electrode is the Bazap one, but it kind of took a nerf. instead of it being any energy, I believe it's there's two lightning energy attached to one of your lightning Pokemon. Actually, it might have always been two lightning energy, but you could attach it to anything you want. Now it can only be attached to lightning Pokemon. Electabuzz is a straight up reprint. I mean, it gains a metal resistance, but it's just a straight up reprint. My baby here, Zapdos, no weakness, super excited about that. And just got an overall buff. It got 20 more HP. Thunder now does 30 more damage. It still does 30 damage to itself. No big deal. We have ways around that. And Thunderbolt, 170 damage. And it just can nuke something. So, good card. Its retreat cost went from 3 to 2, as you can see here. So that's just a little error on their part right there. But I mean, they'll probably fix it later. Not that it really matters. Nothing there looks interesting. King Break, Toxic Pierce, 120 damage. Your opponent's added Pokemon is now poisoned. Put 2 damage counters on it in between turns instead of 1. Just a typical poison stuff. Ghastly, Small Grudge. If this Pokemon is knocked out from an attack, discard an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. You know, it can be a stall card if your opponent has nothing, but I mean, there's really nothing that is going to do. Mewtwo also got an extreme buff. The HP on this Mewtwo went from 60. This Mewtwo had 60 HP in base set, and it went to 130. Psychic, also a really good card to have back, and its cost for a double colorless, also good. Barrier, prevent all physical attacks, including damage done to his Pokemon during your opponent's next turn. If any of your Pokemon use Barrier last turn, you can't use this attack, so you can't like accelerate and stall with it, so that's good. Mewtwo EX, this year was the promo Mewtwo, and it got reprinted. Energy Absorption, attach an energy from your discard pile to this Pokemon. Recover, heals 60. Sideburn for 110. Nothing good about that Mewtwo. There's no real reason to use it over the other two we have now. Let's see. Sandshrew, nothing good. Diglett. Okay, so let's see what Doug Trio has. Oh man, 130. Does 20 damage to each of your bench Pokemon. Nothing really good there. Ooh, Machamp's here. Strike back. If your opponent, oh my god, the ability got better. This used to place 1 damage counter, now it places 3. And Machamp has 160 hit points. Wow. Machamp break. Look at that, 190 hit points. And the pose is completely a shout out to Pokken Tournament, but 190, that's a lot of HP. Oh my god. Lasso Boomerang, 100 damage. During your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon's attacks do 100 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. So after you use it, you have access to a 200 damage attack with an ability that places 3 on it, so they can't knock you out. I'm like, can you imagine this Machamp with like a bursting balloon on it? You're doing 90 damage. Just, it's so good. This Machamp is so good. The only thing that I can say that would kill this Machamp is a Mewtwo. Is Hitmonchan a reprint? It is a reprint, but Special Punch now does 90 damage instead of 40, so yeah. And it's got more HP. So, Clefairy, okay, they have Fairy type Pokemon in here. I thought they was going to make it normal. Sing, flip a coin if it has defending Pokemon's now asleep. Metronome, choose one of your opponent's active Pokemon, and okay. So yeah, no Clefable, unless it's in here. And we have the card that I've been waiting for, Pidgeot EX. I'm going to run the crap out of this card. This is going to be my only deck for the next like 4 years. Straight up. So, attacks, Mimic. I believe they're going to call the attack Mirror Move, so that's what I'm going to call it. So, Mirror Move, if this Pokemon was damaged by an opponent's attack during your opponent's last turn, this attack does the same amount of damage. So if they hit you with an attack for 160 damage, this attack does 160 damage for 1 energy, so always good. You can also use it as a pressure tool. Maybe your opponent doesn't want to hit you because they don't want all that damage back in their face for a single energy. So if they don't hit you, then you can set up Feather Throw which I'm going to call almost Night Spear because the attack is almost Night Spear. It does 80 damage and 20 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. They should just call it almost Night Spear. They should. And Mega Pidgeot EX does Mock Cyclone. Again, I like the art on the card. And Mock Cyclone does 130 damage, and you may have your opponent switch his or her active Pokemon with one of his or her bench Pokemon. So there's a little disruption, 130 damage, and no retreat cost. So that's good. Rattata, we all know what this one here does. When you play from your hand to your bench, you may discard a Pokemon tool attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. You know, nothing there. It gains a retreat cost, which is annoying, but that's it. Eradicate, never saw this card, so Bite from the Shadows. Does 60 damage times the number of special energy in your opponent's discard pile. Oh, we got that again. So if you have 4 double colors in your discard pile, this attack does 240 damage. This can actually be a very good meta card. I mean, it's only one, like one energy. And Crunch, discard an energy card attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. Oh my goodness. I mean, it's only got 60 HP, so it has like almost no staying power, but it's good. Yeah, this here might actually see some play. There was a card in the past, I don't remember what set it was from, that had an attack like Bite from the Shadows. But now we have special charge, so we can mitigate this a little bit. It's not free damage, but you're really going to have to build your deck to keep this in mind. But I think most decks that play special energy will play the card. So Leak Slap. This Pokemon can't use Leak Slap during your next turn. I believe that attack got a buff because at first, once you used it, you couldn't use it anymore. So still not worth using. Chansey, we just looked into that, and we have Dragonite. Basically, when you put this Pokemon from, we can move out the way. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to your bench, you may search the discard pile for the 2 basic Pokemon, excluding any Dragonite, put them into your hand. And Hyper Beam for 130 damage. Discard a special energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. I might use this Dragonite because it is a colorless Pokemon, so I can fit it in any deck, and Hyper Beam can be a very good disruption attack. But time will tell for sure. I don't like that it has a weakness to lightning, but it's whatever. So cards that are back, we have Super Potion, Energy Retrieval, Potion, Revive, De-Evolution Spray, Full Heal, Switch. I just realized all of these cards will have reverse foil forms of them. That's going to be so good. Pokédex Maintenance, Spirit Links. Professor Oak's Hint is now a supporter, but when you play it, you have to end your turn. Double Colors Energy is back. Venusaur EX Full Art, so we got Full Arts. I kind of like the way this Charizard Full Art looks. Not everybody likes the way it looks, so there's that. And we have these here. I don't believe these are textured. Oh, they are textured. Okay. Yeah, people were worried that these cards weren't going to be textured, but it looks like they are. But I'm just glad I get my full art Pidgeot finally. I mean, seriously, just look at how good these 2 cards look. These 2 cards, they just look so nice. Like, I'm really glad they actually didn't mess up on Mega Pidgeot. I know some people said they like Pidgeot EX's art better, but this here actually looks nice. I was expecting it to kind of look like this. It would have been nice if they made it look more like the Ho-Oh EX full art cards, because those cards always look good. But I'm not disappointed by this. I'm looking forward to having these cards. Dragonite Full Art, Secret Rares, Misty's Determination, Brock's Guts, Executor. I'm not sure why these decided they want it to be Wait, what? Ikumi's Dodrio, when this card retreats, throw this card away. Oh my god. It's such a... I know this is a joke card. This card cannot be played in tournaments. If it can't be played in tournaments, then it shouldn't be in my booster packs. That's the way I feel about that. The artwork is pretty funny though, I'm not gonna lie. When this Pokemon retreats, throw this card away. Okay. Okay. Oh, I forgot about Slowbro. Okay. Let's see. So we got Slowbro EX and Mega Slowbro. These here are promos, so Slowbro isn't going to have a full art card. It's unfortunate, but you know, it's whatever. Surfing Pikachu, that's a secret rare in this set. We already know that. I would very much love to get my hands on all this energy, but yeah, that's it for the set. So, like, if you weren't around when this Pokemon set was around, then this set really isn't going to mean anything to you. Like, for a player like me who grew up when this era of Pokemon was a thing, this era is a complete throwback to me. There are a handful of new cards, there are a handful of old cards with new abilities and stuff like that, but for the most part, you know, this here is what we grew up with. This here was the way our Revive card looked. We didn't know what this was, but that's what we had. So to see the trainer layout and like, it's really nice. This here is a nostalgic set, and players who were from my generation will appreciate the set because we want these cards again that were updated. Because a base set booster pack now is like $50 for one booster pack. And while this isn't going to recreate that feeling of opening up a base set booster pack, you know, we're still going to get a lot of the stuff. You know, a lot of our cards are going to look like they were in base set. Like this Super Potion. We instantly see this and we're like, yep, we know where this came from. Energy Retrieval. I have no idea what the artwork is. And every time I look at this, I think of something completely sexual. I don't know why, but I do. But what is this? Seriously, what is this? I have no idea what these 3 pink orbs are. I have no idea what this is, but something is spraying out. So, yeah, that's kind of what we had. Switch. I always thought this here was like a trade card or something like that, but you know, that was our Switch. Pokédex, maintenance. So, it's going to be nice to see the trainers in reverse foil form. So, I mean, overall, for a player like me, I simply like the set because of the nostalgia feeling. A player like you might not care for it. I mean, there's really nothing here that's playable. I mean, the Zapdos is playable, the Charizard is playable. I don't think you should probably ever play with Electro, but if you want to, you can. I think the Raichu's playable too. I mean, this here is just a complete throwback set. You know, you're not buying this set because you're looking for playable cards. You're buying this set because you want that feeling of opening up a base set Charizard again. Like that was always the best thing. So for me, I would probably give this set like a solid 9 out of 10. Just because it gives me my Pidgeot EX, and it's going to give you back that feeling of nostalgia when you open up these cards. Especially for a player who hasn't played Pokemon in a long time and just wants to go to the store and buy a Pokemon set and open it up and they happen to see this base set Charmander, this base set Charmeleon, or get this base set Charizard. They're going to lose their minds over because they weren't expecting it. And, you know, it might even get players like that back into the game because it's like, man, I remember when I opened up this set when I was 10 years old. And now you're like 28 years old. And you get to do it again. You know, that feeling just feels really nice. So I hope you all liked this video. If you did, subscribe to my channel. Do look forward to me running that Pidgeot EX in a couple of months on Pokemon Trading Card Game Online. I know for sure I'm going to be getting back into tournaments now because of the card. And as always, I want to thank you all for taking time to watch my videos, and I hope to see you all in the next one.